Welcome, viewers. This is A Vision Entertainment once again, and we have another special show for the viewers tonight. We have a celebrity stand-up comedian, actor, writer. This is Mr. Charles Walden, born and raised in Philadelphia. How you feeling, brother?
So far so good. Just dealing with this crazy thing called life.
That's what it is, man. And we got to keep on fighting. Keep on fighting in life,
Exactly,
you know.
exactly. Because like they say, once you figure it out, it's time to go. So take your time in figuring things out.
Figure it out. And as you go along, you get stronger. Whatever you go through, you get stronger and stronger. You know,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
most definitely. You might not like what's causing you to make you stronger, but it
But
will.
yeah, and it's a must. You have to go through something living here. I mean, you have to go through it. You know.
Yes.
But the good thing about it is we have a comedian. You have had opportunities to perform on some iconic TV shows and stages, such as BET's Comic View, Martin Lawrence's First Admittment, and even Def Comedy Jam All Star Season. To name a few, Charles, a requested favorite to perform. You went to colleges, you performed at clubs, churches, military bases across the country. How was all of that for you? Like just to do all those performances at those high level places like that?
Actually, I think a wonderful experience. Just meeting different people from like all around the country and the globe.
Yeah.
Because doing the military bases, you do them all over, like through Europe and Asia.
Yeah.
So and then and the cool thing is, like the first time I went to Korea, I got a better understanding of the Korean people.
Oh, because you learn from every country you go to, you learn their culture.
Yeah.
Every country you went into. Wow. So as far as um, the military bases, did they actually give you a call? Like give your people a call to come, for you to come down and get with them? How did that
Well,
happen?
how that works is usually like somebody who has a contract, with
Yeah.
the club managers on the bases over there,
Yeah.
and they bring the entertainment over. And the
Okay.
person who has the contract, they're responsible. Because the guy who brought me to Korea, he was responsible for comedy and music. So and
Okay.
that's how it worked. So they would come to somebody like somebody say, okay, you know, you know, club managers who are sorry for the study. They'll have a relationship with
No, that's
somebody.
cool, man. That's cool. Go ahead.
They'll
Go
have
ahead.
a relationship with somebody in the entertainment business stateside, and they
Yeah.
be like, look, I'm now a club manager on this base here,
Hmm.
and I could talk to like the other club managers at some of the other bases, and we could put a tour together,
Hmm.
and we just need comedians now. Now they need like certain type of comedians. They can't have nobody too raunchy.
Okay. So it got to be
So
somebody. Yeah. Like almost like no like clean comedy.
yeah, no, I mean you could curse, but they don't, they don't want the MF word like every
Yeah.
other
Yeah. Yeah.
word.
Yeah. Like all those cuss words, and you just want to keep it cool.
Yeah.
Not go overboard. Just keep it
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. You could probably go for like PG-13, PG
Yeah.
17,
Yeah.
something like that.
Wow. Wow. So what? I just want to go back to this. Like you have been restricted by cerebral palsy and from birth, basically.
Yes.
But but you doesn't allow your condition to limit you or stop you from living your best life. You know what was going through your mind right before you walked out on stages, like to do your very first set? Like when you first started, what was going through your mind, and what was you thinking at the time?
Um, I mean, well, the first time I stepped on stage was an open mic night, like
Yeah.
in January of like '89, and I'm like this 18-year-old kid, so I have no idea what stand up is about,
Yeah.
and I was just super dirty. Because I thought that was what stand up was about, just cussing.
Yeah.
And I had 5 minutes. I ain't gonna lie to you. I swore that was like the longest 5 minutes in my life.
Yeah.
Because it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. It was only like 3-4 people there left in the audience, and they were just too tired to move because I think they were too drunk.
Okay.
But what was going through my mind? I thought I was gonna just kill it with what I wrote.
Yeah.
And and I didn't realize there was more to writing material than from what you saw on on TV.
Yeah.
It's about creating an actual routine.
Yeah. Your
And
routine.
because I know people see my set now, and they don't realize, like, when I first started, I was so dirty, man. I was saying stuff, talking about stuff like, watching my mom and father having sex and all this
Oh
stuff,
wow.
and it wasn't until about maybe 6-7 months in, like, I wasn't making any progress on the open mic list.
Yeah.
And I got to talk to a comedian who I wanted to see my set for the longest, and and and, he finally got to see it.
Yeah.
And I asked him what he thought, and he said, I don't know if we allowed to cuss on here or not, but I was gonna tell you what he said, exactly what he said. He said, Charles, that was effing disgusting.
Wow.
What you did. And then instead of me getting angry, it hurt me because I knew he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I knew he was telling the truth. So and and that just made me, switch around my material and work on cleaning it up and tighten it up and stuff like that.
Yeah. From that
And
moment, yeah. Yeah, that moment right there made you think, like, I got to go back and do something better. I
yeah,
got.
and because the thing I said to myself, I said I must have been kind of mature for my age, because most 18-year-olds would have cussed somebody. I was like, you don't know what you talking about.
Yeah.
Because I had other comics telling me that, talking about, man, don't listen to him. He don't know what he's talking about. But it was that thing inside of me that just kept saying, no, Charles,
Yeah.
he's right.
Yeah. That's right.
So it took me about 2-3 weeks to, like, clean everything up. And
Mhm.
once I did, and I went back on open mic night, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, Charles, I can't believe
You was
you
better.
weren't dirty tonight."
Wow. 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 So you didn't use no cuss words that night?
No, I might have said like some hells and dams, but no
Okay.
F-bombs. And
Okay. So it was a little better then, you know?
yeah, and, and that just came from me, because if you're not willing to listen, and then and then I was observing what everybody, the comics that I were looking up to were doing. I said, hold on, because a lot of times in the club you get the best advice from the security people,
Yeah.
because a lot of times they're the only ones in there who ain't been drinking.
Hmm.
And the guy said, Charles, you gotta say to yourself what kind of comedian you want to be.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's a thought, to think about what kind you want to be. What inspired you to become a comedian? Like, how
um,
did that happen?
um, way back in the '70s, my uncle Johnny would let me listen to Richard Pryor albums,
Oh,
and
okay.
then as time went on, I was watching other comedians on TV, seeing how much fun they were having,
Yeah.
and I said, man, I would love to do that, because that seemed like so creative and funny.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 18, I just started going to open mic nights, and like I said, one thing led to another.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So in the beginning, it was a little rough, a little difficult until you got everything together, and then that's when you went on, took off. You know.
Yeah, cause I had to do like open mic nights for probably about a good year and a half, and then I started getting like small local gigs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was funny because my disability, I don't drive. So one of my first little gigs was a $20 gig. I know this is probably going to air like nationwide, but in a city called Westchester, PA,
Yeah.
at 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 I at a place called the Westchester Inn,
Yeah.
and the bus dropped me off like a mile from there, but but my walking was a lot better back then, so I was able to walk that mile to that
Yeah.
little
To,
twenty
to,
dollar
to the
gig.
venue. Yeah. To the $20 gig. You know.
And the funny thing is, the guy, he paid everybody by check. And keep in
Oh.
mind,
Oh man.
so
By
I'm this
check.
19-year-old kid. I ain't got no bank account.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
had to go to a check cashing place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and 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 the lady looked at the check and she's like, "You cashing this? This is for $20."
Wow, 19 a $20 check. Wow, so look, so while you were on the bus, did you have your cane with you? Because you said your walking was a little better. Did you have a cane at the
Oh yeah,
time?
no. I didn't start needing the cane till probably about like between 8 and 10 years ago.
Okay, okay. That's when you started. All right. Now when you talk, I had read your bio a little bit, and you spoke about how you didn't let your cerebral palsy stop you at all. You still went on stages.
Yeah.
Tell me about high school. Was you the one that usually would bust on people, man, in school? Like when you do
No,
that to people?
you know, no, I'm not. I'm probably one of the few comics. I mean, I had a sense of humor, but I never
Yeah, yeah.
really, was doing all that busting stuff.
Okay.
I would like interject humor in certain things, but I
Hmm.
never tried to be like the class clown
Yeah.
or nothing like that.
Okay.
Because when I realized it was frustrating, because the bad part about starting stand up comedy while you're still in high school
Okay.
is when you ask a question in class, the teacher thinking you joking, like, "Oh, Charles, stop trying to be,
Not trying
so
to be
funny all the time."
funny. Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I'm not joking. I'm trying to be serious." I'm like, "Okay, never mind."
Yeah. 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 So they sure understood you were trying to be funny at
Yeah.
times. Well, as far as like stand up today, when the comedy industry, I'm a big fan of stand up, and I notice comedians they kind of like use the same material over and over. How often do you think a comedian should switch up their material?
I mean, I think like for all comments, I mean, at least like on a certain level. I mean, you should be able to come up with at least 3, 4 good bits a year.
Okay.
Unless until you get to that level where like Dave and Kevin are, you know,
Yeah.
and that and, and I know they got people helping them come up with stuff because I know because they always gotta come up with stuff every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like as a comic who's just working the club circuit, you should be like I said, between about 4 and 6 bits a year. You should be coming up to add to your routine,
Okay. So
and
switch.
try not to be like dated in your act.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Mhm.
I started in '89, but the one thing is my style is not still the same like it was back in '89.
It's different.
Yeah, and a lot of comics I started with back then, they're locked in that same style.
Oh wow, they still have that same style back from back then. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it's like music producers. Like you got your music producers who were great in the '80s,
Mhm.
but then when the '90s come along and things start switching up, like they're not as strong.
Now now it's easier a little bit on the internet to try to get people to see your act. Um, how do you promote yourself as far as getting them big phone calls? Like, what do you do? Do you kind of send your material out to these big companies, promotional? Like, how do you do that to get people to bring you on to their stage, their big venue
Um,
and stuff like that?
well, the cool thing about this day and age, you know, you can just email stuff out and stuff
Yes,
like
look.
that,
Okay.
and it's a lot easier compared to like, back in the 90s,
Yeah.
when you had to go to the post office and mail all that stuff out
Hmm.
and hope they watch your VHS tape.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I mean,
Hmm.
I remember like I was averaging um like about $80 every couple months, mailing videotapes out. And then the thing about it is, you had to call another comedian who was really in with that club to call the person, to call the club manager and say, "Listen, you really got to look at this tape
Yeah.
of Charles Walden, man."
Hmm.
Because a lot of times they would just sit, you know, you know, on a file cabinet somewhere,
Oh
never
yeah,
get looked at.
sit it on the shelf,
hmm
basically.
I I remember a guy was interested in bringing me to South Africa,
Hmm.
and I sent him a package over there,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking he looked at it, and about maybe 3-4 weeks later, it get returned to me, return to sender.
Wow. So he never looked at it.
No.
Wow. Well, that's cool because you right not where you want to be. I know you want to go higher, but you have seen some people and been on some great stages.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's crazy. I remember like late '90s. It was late '90s, early 2000. I was coming back from LA.
mhm.
I had to do LA to New York, and I was gonna catch Amtrak back to Philly.
Yeah.
And iron- ironically, Bill Weathers was on the flight with me, and
Okay.
because he got on the subway with me and everything, and was talking to me and said, "Hey man, I saw you on TV in the past. I wanted to just say, man, you're truly, funny, man.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, I can't believe,
Yeah.
this is
Bill
Bill
Weathers.
Weather, because he had
Yeah.
his luggage, and I'm looking at his luggage tag, and it's saying William. So I said, okay, well, Bill is short for William. So
Hmm.
so,
Wow.
but he told me, but this is what he told me. He said, you know what? He said, man, enjoy this time right here, because even though you want to catch that big break, but
Hmm.
it because when you get that big break, it because everybody wants to control you
That's right. That's right.
about what you want to do. Right now is probably the most enjoyable time right now of like being, when you're entertaining.
Wow. Wow. So have you ever blanked on stage, like just forgot your whole set? Just forgot
Oh
some of your
yes, yeah,
jokes.
yeah, shoot, that happens often. I mean, especially if I got to do like 3 shows in one night.
Okay. Okay.
Because like after the third show, I'm like saying to myself, so damn, I just said this. I was like, oh no, 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 that was on the earlier show.
The
Okay,
earlier
I'm
show.
good.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So you know how to get back, get yourself
Yeah,
back when that
yeah,
happened
yeah.
to you.
I try to use everything that happens to me on stage and make it to the routine. Like if I stumble on stage
Hmm.
or trip and fall on stage, I just try to incorporate that in the whole thing, just to keep the crowd relaxed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool. You're a professional now. That phone call, Def Comedy Jam with Martin Lawrence. How did you get on uh the First Amendment with Martin Lawrence? How did that happen
Oh,
to you?
I went to the audition,
Oh, yeah,
and
the
the funny thing,
audition.
yeah, they had auditions up in Long Island,
Okay.
and my buddy comedian talent called me,
Yeah.
and he said he's like, yo, yeah, so I got the talent scout for First Amendment coming, and get up here and audition in front of him.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna go because I was like, man, Long Island. It's not like going to New York City where Long Island is different. I don't
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
And to show you how like the powers above, you know, my cousin called me. He's like, and my cousin, he drives trucks for a living, and he was in between companies. And he said, well, listen, he says, Charles, he said, you going to audition for First Amendment? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know because I got to get there. And he
Yeah.
said, well, he said, I'm not doing nothing, so I can run you up there.
Wow.
And it was cool, and I just took care of gas and tolls, and I auditioned, and they liked me, and then we went ahead and did it.
Wow. So that was good, man. How many times have you been on the First Amendment?
I did
Yeah.
First Amendment once. I did Comic View several times. I did the Apollo Comedy Hour like twice, and
Yeah.
Def Jam once.
Wow. Are there any topics that are just too raw or recent for comedy?
I I think like all topics could be funny. It's just to me, it's how you set it up
Okay.
and deliver it. Because I think some comics just want to be controversial and just say stuff,
Mhm.
just to say it, without putting like some, creative content behind it.
Okay. Okay. Because I know sometimes when you're on stage, some people be afraid to say certain things now because it's like people have lawsuits out. They do this. They do that. It's way different than how it was years ago now.
And because in my routine, I have I talk about like gay people, and ironically, it's ironic you bring this up, because I had a gay guy come up to me after my show and he said, yeah, I was gonna get upset about what you said. Then he said, I realized watching your whole set, you know, and not just you don't just talk about everybody. You talk about yourself too, so that
Yeah.
bounces out.
Yeah. 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 And that too. I just want to piggyback off of what you about that. You were never afraid or like to speak about your condition, right?
No, no. In the very beginning, I wouldn't say nothing about my disability,
Yeah.
and it took one of my mentors, Keith Robinson, um, to really get on me about that because and it was funny the thing because he would tell me for like a couple years. He like,
Yeah.
Charlie, man, you gotta say something about your disability because people think you faking because there's comics out here now doing bits, acting like they can't
Yeah.
walk or
Yeah. They
whatever.
can't walk. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
and then one night he just got fed up and he said, God damn it, Charlie. He said, you have to say something about your disability.
Yeah.
And then I found a way to start, incorporate. But I didn't want to be like leaning on my whole act with my disability.
But you
I
just
just want,
yeah, you want to switch it up. You might go to that, switch it up, you know?
yeah, because like if somebody see me for 30 minutes, I want, I just want to be like, okay, well, like, about 5-10 minutes of that was him just talking about his disability, and he was
Yeah.
talking about everything else.
Yeah, you got to switch it up because people one thing about us, people have short attention spans. And it's like you got to keep everybody in tune with something new. Like they always have to hear something new,
Yeah.
because people know real fast if you said something. He said this joke on BET Comics Comic View. He said it again on Def Jam. People they notice that. But when you switch
Mm.
it up, they be like, oh, he was funny tonight. This is how it
Exactly.
is.
And it's crazy like how singers can get away with singing the same
Yeah,
song
saying
over
something.
and nobody
Yeah,
was cause like I would joke about this and like well this is the first person that come to mind like
yeah,
like Prince may continue to rest in peace like if it was somebody who's go see Prince and then and and he didn't sing 1999
that's
or
right.
Purple Rain, people are like, oh my God, he didn't even sing those. He sang a whole bunch of new stuff. I ain't want to hear that. I want to hear him do
Yeah,
Purple
it was
Rain.
Purple Rain. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. But that's how I am sometimes too. If I'm going to a concert, let's say if I want to go see Public Enemy, right?
Uh,
Um, the if I miss if they didn't sing something that I really like, I'll be like, they ain't do that song. They didn't do Bring the Noise. They ain't sing Don't Believe the Hype. It's something that I would notice. You know what I mean? Because like you said, it's something that they wanted to hear.
yeah.
You know, that's just what it is. When you write new jokes, Do you do any research to see if they've been done already? Like if they've been done before?
Yeah. I try to fill out, and then a lot of times I realize like I'll bring something new out, and
Okay.
then a lot of people will be on the same concept as me,
Yeah.
but I just make sure I have it worded where it's not touching what they do.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever ran into a problem like that?
No, I've been fortunate in that area.
Okay. Okay.
Because I make sure, because one thing, I had somebody tell me, a comedian tell me 1 years ago, years ago, that he said, Charles, he said one thing about you, he said, can't nobody really steal your material because your material worked for you because of the way you talk.
That's right. That's right.
He said, ain't nobody gonna be on stage, with that kind of patience to try to deliver like how you deliver.
That's right. You're right. So you have your own unique style.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like we had a past presidential election, and I've been at shows where like every comedian wanted to talk about Trump,
yeah.
Trump running, and I touched on it with a little thing,
Mm.
and and and, and I know it threw people off in the beginning because I was like, yeah, Donald Trump, is president. But I said, you know what though? I feel sorry for Melania Trump. And people, I said, no, hear me out. I said, because when she first married Donald Trump, you know, she knew only a few people knew she was married to an idiot. Now
Yeah.
everybody, the whole world knows she's married to a jackass.
Well, she's staying. So,
Exactly. I don't even think she's coming in DC. I think she was like, look, I'm being in Florida this time. I ain't coming.
well, she's not worried about it this time. She's going away.
And then because I really I don't get too much into too much politics like when Jimmy Carter's funeral, and I just started saying like I would like to have the health care of a president. I said because Jimmy Carter was in hospice for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I said now damn well anybody else in this room we go in hospice. We know we only got about 5 days left
Yeah.
in our life. Jimmy Carter was around for like almost 2.5 years in hospice.
And hospice for 2 years. Wow, that's
Yeah,
something. That's something to think about. Wow, wow, that's something to think about. 2 years. That is a long time. Because
yeah,
you go there when you have a short period of time. You go there when you got about maybe 4 months or 6 months.
yeah,
I'm guessing.
yeah. Because everybody I know who went to hospice, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
About a couple weeks later,
that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yep. That's something to think about, man. And you also appear in the movie Holy Hustle, 2017.
oh yeah, that was fun doing that.
Where was that shooting at? Where did y'all shoot that film?
Oh, and Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, okay. Did you enjoy that, man?
Oh
Shooting that?
yeah. Just to do that little scene, it was fun. They let
Okay.
me improv a little bit because the guy I, I know his last name is Cunningham. I forget Mark Cunningham. That's his name, Mark Cunningham.
Mark Cunningham,
And
okay.
and then when he was telling me the scene, and we just and he said, "Man, just have fun with it. Just have fun with it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Cool." I was like, "Cool," and that's what we did.
So you didn't have to read the script?
Yeah, because it wasn't really words to it. It was a
He just said be yourself. Just do
yeah.
whatever.
It was a situation. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, just go ahead and be yourself."
So you that's a wonderful that was a wonderful gig for you also. But let's talk about growing up in North Philadelphia. What area, ma'am, you don't mind me asking?
I pretty much grew up in the Logan section of Philly. I lived there from like 79, I know, 80 to like 93.
Okay, up Logan. All right. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. And how was that growing up for you in
Oh
Logan?
man, growing up in Logan probably was like the best thing that happened to me. That's where I got a lot of my ambition, man, because a lot of my friends, they started getting jobs at fast food restaurant, working at Wendy's. And I said,
Yeah.
man, I want to work too. And then and then they had jobs at the got jobs at the golf course,
Mm-hmm.
and carrying the golf bag, for the golfer. And I remember telling my mom, I said, Mom, I want to do that. She like,
Yeah.
she's like, Charlie, ain't no way in the world you gonna do that. You know how much walking that is with a heavy get
We're
golf
golfer.
bag.
Yeah.
But I wasn't looking at it like that. I just wanted to work and do something, man.
Yeah.
And no and, and no fast food restaurant will hire me for nothing.
At all, right?
No,
Wow.
man. I was like, man, and I just started feeling devastated. And then
But they can't do that now. That's discrimination. They can't do
I
that
know, but
today.
they got ways to get around it. So
Okay. Okay. They got ways to twist it up, right? To take out that.
exactly, the
Wow.
word is not like you being discriminated.
Yeah.
Um, but I what so and then I think what kept pushing me to stand up because just trying to talk to girls at 17, 16, 17, not working out. So it was the stuff that was starting to hurt me and bother me inside.
Yeah.
And and I just started doing stand up. And
Mhm.
a lot of comedians will tell you this, man. Stand up really saved my life, man. Because it helped me deal with all that personal stuff that was upsetting me,
I'm setting you. Yeah. Yeah.
and I got a chance to vent it out.
Wow. Well, that's good. That was a one way. That's a coping mechanism for you.
Yeah, and not
Feeling.
just me. You'd be surprised if you sit down and talk with a lot of comics. You some if we took stand up away like years ago, and they'd be like, "Oh man, I don't even know if I would have made it."
My next question was, if you wasn't doing stand up, what do you think you'll be doing right now?
Um, Before stand up came in the picture, while I was in school, I was thinking about doing stuff like accounting. Um,
Okay.
I was looking
Yeah.
into like some type of like office work.
Okay. So yeah, like back in school doing something. You know, uh, just taking up something like college or something
Yeah,
like that. You
yeah.
think?
I went to community college for like a year,
Okay.
but
Okay.
that's when stand up just kept pulling me in that direction.
Okay. Yeah. Because this is something that you love. I can tell you enjoy it. This is your career.
Yeah,
Stand up. This is your
I mean,
career.
and it's crazy because I remember in '90, my mom passed in September of '93, and it was like a couple months after that, like November. I'm sitting at the train station, waiting to get
Yeah.
Amtrak to go up to New York, and I'm like sitting there saying, "Man, do I really want to keep doing this, man?" It's like, and like I said, man, the powers to be, like people, God send you to remind you, because I'm sitting on the bench, and a lady comes sitting down next to me, and she said, "Listen, Charles, well, she didn't say Charles, but she said, listen, I just want to say, thank you."
Hmm.
And she was like, "Yeah, because of you, I have a disabled son, and because of
Yeah.
you, because my son saw you on TV, he said he's not gonna care what people think about him no more."
That was good. That was
And I think
good.
at the time she said her son was 7.
Well, you gave him the courage to because you have a voice and
Yeah,
and your disability, you wasn't afraid. You know.
and it wasn't. And the crazy thing, it wasn't with just a disabled son, because I felt like that. I was thinking like that again around '97 or so, and
Yeah.
then a Spanish gentleman came up to me while walking around downtown somewhere, and he said, "Man, I want to tell you something, man." He said you inspired me. He said
Wow.
because I see you can't walk, and I said here's a fellow Spanish person, and because of you, I went back to school, and I'm being a
Okay.
better father
Okay.
to my kid.
Okay.
And because he said all that, I didn't have the heart to tell him I wasn't Spanish because I didn't want him to get mad and revert back to his ways. So
Yeah.
so I just let him think I was Spanish.
Yeah. Just let him keep thinking that, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, who were your comedic influences when you were starting out?
Well, of course, Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, yeah.
Um, and
The top of your head is showing again.
oh,
Yeah, there you go.
I got too comfortable. I'm sorry, but
no,
yeah,
that's
Richard
cool right there.
Pryor, Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of Jack Benny stuff.
Okay.
Jack Benny is unique because his humor is real dry, but I just appreciate that style of comedy.
The style.
And George Carlin.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So what about now? Do you have any favorite comedians out here today, like right now?
It's hard to pinpoint. Because I like so many, and I don't want to leave nobody out.
All right, cool.
So I mean, there's a lot of comics who I love their work ethic.
Yeah.
With Mike Epps and Kev and Cedric, they work really hard.
Yeah, they do. So you work with Kevin Hart, right?
Yeah. But right before he launched.
Okay, because I know everybody came through Def Comedy Jam. Comic View on BET. A lot of people started from there too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because Comic View probably did a lot more for a lot of comics who could never make it.
That's right.
And the cool thing about Comic View, it ran like 5 days a week.
It did.
And that's like almost pretty much like twice a night. You would have to come on 8:30 and then again at like 11 or 12.
How many times did you do Showtime at the Apollo?
Well, it was actually Apollo Comedy Hour, but same building.
Back then, yes. Okay.
But I got to do that twice.
Okay, and how did you enjoy it? Did you like that?
Oh yeah, being in the building, because so many legendary people came through there.
Well, it's so hard. I heard up there, up in Harlem, them people hard, man.
Oh yeah. They don't care who you is.
Yeah.
They don't care if you can't walk right.
Yeah, they hard up there, man. But that's good though, because you definitely you went through it, and you where you want to be, but I know you want to get further, and you are, because your talent is going to speak for itself.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, and that's the thing. You just keep pushing, and like it's weird because even when you get where you think you got to get, because now you got to focus on trying to stay there and maintain. Yeah. And then what's the next goal?
Wow,
because just listening to people who big time, man, it's still challenging for them. Like when Eddie Murphy pitches projects, I remember he was doing an interview saying like when he was pitching Nutty Professor, and the studio was like, no, we're not interested. And then he said, he told Arsenio, he said, I bet you if I go back and tell him I'll do majority of the characters, they'll say yes. And that's what he did. He went back and said yes.
But he did say yes.
After he went back and said, I'll do majority of the characters.
You know what's amazing is that you would think that because of his status, he can get it anywhere he wants. But it doesn't mean anything sometimes to them Hollywood, people out there. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, like with those executives, because it's like, when they like you, they'll push anything.
That's right.
You want. It'll be like this stupidest TV show concept.
Yeah, and they'll push that with the quickness,
Exactly.
I'm gonna do a little twist to this interview, right? This is a question. Mm-hmm. If you had a free pass to do one thing without suffering the consequences for it, what would you do?
Entertainment.
Anything in life. If you had a free pass to do one thing without suffering the consequences for it, what would you do?
Oh man, there's so many people I I probably would cuss out because I know they was discriminating against me.
Wow.
Oh, man, and I would call some executives stupid because like you gave me the hardest time,
Yeah.
but you ain't getting no pushback on this person.
Wow. Wow. You said it. You said it, man, in a nutshell, right? Wow. Wow. That's good, man. That's good. What's coming up for you, man, as far as like more shows? You have any dates
Um.
coming?
Oh yeah. Well, this Saturday I'll be down in Delaware, down in Wilmington, Delaware, at the Grand Opry,
Okay.
and then on the 25th I'll be in Waldorf, Maryland. Then
Okay.
February 1st down in right outside Fort Lauderdale,
Okay.
um
That's cool.
doing a church show down there, and
Oh,
then they got some other projects. It's a couple tours that's being worked on with my friend Lil Jess. He's another fellow disabled comic out of
okay.
Arkansas. He's trying to get this tour dates together with me and him.
Okay.
Um, called government assisted tour,
Okay.
and
Government assistant tour.
we got with Poppins and entertainment is a tour we working on. Um, and Mary already has some dates lined up,
Some
so
dates
I'm
lined up.
looking forward to doing that. So hopefully I can do both. You know,
All right.
but it's a shame in this business. You got to book so much stuff because so much stuff falls off.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's like it's unpredictable sometimes in this business, you know.
Yeah.
At times it is.
And then they look at it like, man, you got all these projects lined up. I'm like, okay, it just look like that. Then as you get
Yeah.
closer, you be like, okay, well, this person pushing this back and that back. So if you just
Wow.
relied on the one thing
Mhm.
and that fell off, you're like, damn, now I ain't got nothing.
Wow. Wow. That's why they said this business is up and down, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I mean, the one thing I hate about, the entertainment business is the business side, you
Yeah.
know. And like, cause like, especially when it comes to like booking agents and managers, they
Mhm.
only want to stay with clients when they're hot.
Wow. Wow. And that's
Not
the only.
not not realizing they just came down a little bit and they still can book them on stuff, and eventually you get pushed back to the back burner even though they know you still bringing it.
Yeah. It's sad because I know a lot of good comedians right now. They don't have a household name, but they're funny. But
Yeah,
they get overlooked because they're not no Hollywood megastars. So they overlook these type of comedians, you know.
and it's all about just getting the right people behind you.
That too. Yeah, I guess you can get that too. Yeah.
And I feel like I got that now with the Poppins production people, and because the way they want to go about it is making sure everything's structured properly.
Okay. So are these are your managers or just is this a whole entertainment company like that
Um
you
they're like a management company
okay, okay,
also, you know,
okay.
and it's cool, man. I just I just like the approach because you want to make sure the foundation is is good.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I know you have a lot of stories, funny stories about, out there and on in your journey of comedy. Can you share a funny behind the scenes story
Um,
from a tour you went on, or just just anything from your career?
wait a minute. It's so many. I got
I knew it was. Yeah.
um well, here's one since I brought up since we mentioned Kevin a while back. It was funny. Actually, it was me, Kevin, and Michael Blackson.
Okay.
We were doing we were doing something in Brooklyn, and as we was leaving the club, you know,
Yeah.
uh, a dog just jumped out of nowhere like it was gonna come after, and I hauled ass. You know? And they're supposed to be running, but they laughing because they ain't never seen me move like that.
Yeah. Wow. 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 So you ran, and also, your disability, you didn't care. You just ran.
Exactly, because I'm from the same street y'all from.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I'm
Wow.
not,
Wow.
I'm messing with no stray dog out here. Shoot.
Me neither. I don't like, if I seen a dog from a corner away, if I'm walking up and I see him near the corner, I'm going the other way. I don't play that with them dogs, especially a pit bull. And them
I
Doberman
know.
pinches.
Now here's the crazy thing: a lot of these stray cats out here are more vicious than these dogs.
I don't know what happened, but they do seem like they're more vicious. I don't know what happened to. It's like they switched positions. I don't know.
I know it's like like you walk past a street cat and it's like and,
Wow.
and ready be ready to kill you. But like maybe I should bring you in as a watchdog.
You know what I always wanted to know, and this is something that I could never figure out, but I tried it, you know, by asking around. What's a typical cut for a comedian's manager? And I don't want to know how much. Is it yearly or is it every time you do a show when you get off stage they get paid? How does that work for them?
Yeah, um, they get paid off the gigs. Like
Okay,
you get to it. It could be anywhere between like 15, to 20%.
okay. I meant to say monthly, not yearly. So it's every time you get off a gig,
Yeah.
basically. Okay. What is a typical day like for you? When you're not doing nothing, no shows. What are you doing?
Just regular stuff. Making making business calls in the industry and
Okay.
just making sure stuff is lined up, and then whatever I gotta do around the house. If I gotta do laundry, because we all need clean underwear, and
That's right. That's right.
and and just making sure that I'm on top of the household bills.
Well, that's cool. Okay. So just regular routine house stuff. You're taking care
and
of
and,
business.
and, and like most guys, watch ESPN in the morning from like between like 8 and 12. And
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's good. Only got two. I got two questions left for you, man.
uh-huh.
What is your biggest lesson learned growing up that you still hold on to this day?
um, Staying humble and treating people how I want to be treated.
Wow. That's wonderful right there. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because and I had to get a reminder about being humble because back in June of '92, I had a show up in Secaucus, New Jersey. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
It was me, Tasha Smith, and Tony Woods.
Hmm.
And before we got there, the promoter told me, said it's going to be about. It was at the Secaucus Hilton. He said it's going to probably be about 500 people in the ballroom, and and, and he was like, "Have you ever performed in front of that many people before?" I said, no, because I was just starting to do shows
Yeah.
like that. And he said, "Well, okay, well, this be a good experience for you." But we get there, it's like 2,000 people stuff in that ballroom.
I thought he
And
said 500. It was
I,
it
I
was
know, but it was more people that came.
Oh wow, yeah. Hmm.
So, and then then I'm performing, and about maybe 5-10 minutes into my set, it's like I heard somebody yell, "That's enough!" And then the crowd started booing me.
Oh wow,
And I
okay.
tell people, it felt like everybody who hated me came to that one show.
Oh wow, wow,
And
wow.
I also tell people I needed that to happen because I was starting to feel like the little ego popping up because I every show I was doing was like fantastic. So I needed that like that punch in the face and gut to say no, 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 bring it down.
Bring it down, yeah. Wow.
It's
So
kind of like it's kind of like that boxer, you know, who ain't never lose, and
now that's right.
take that one opponent too lightly, and got his ass knocked out.
Humble you, sit you right on down, right?
Exactly.
That's it.
So,
Would.
so even though it hurt them, but then as time went by, I look back, I said, yeah, I needed that to happen.
Wow. Well, at least you admitted and you knew what was wrong. You know that
Yeah.
had to happen.
Yes.
Wow. 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 What? Okay. What advice would you give to aspiring stand-up comedians?
I always tell them, man, just keep writing. You know, don't have always want keep learning. Never stop wanting to learn.
Yeah.
And always be humble on your stage and just be honest on stage.
Okay.
And respect your audience. Now I know your audience can turn on you and give you a hard time, but that's a different situation. Then you got to turn around and cuss them out. But I always tell them those few things.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's great, man. I want to thank you, viewers. We just spoke with the celebrity, comedian, stand-up actor, writer, Charles Walden. I want to thank you for coming on to A Vision Entertainment, brother.
No problem. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, anytime. And I hope that one day in the future we can come back. You have more stuff,
Oh
more
yeah,
movies.
definitely, definitely. This
Yeah.
was fun, and I really enjoyed this. You made it real comfortable.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Hey y'all, check it out. This is comedian Charles Walden, and you watching A Vision Entertainment.